This is Real Life with Deb Waterbury, a real show for real people with real issues. And now, here's your host, Dr. Deb Waterbury.
Hello there. Welcome to this episode of Real Life with Deb Waterbury. We have kind of a special episode today with Dee. I know y'all are used to seeing Dwight here with me teaching and doing some other kind of issues. But today in our Mind, Body, and Soul series, we kind of want to talk to her about what her actual business is and what she does for a living, because it's kind of cool. It's actually very cool, but kind of confusing, I think, sometimes.
For a lot of people.
Yes. So Dee is what's known as an integrative health coach. So Dee, first off, before we get into anything else, please explain what that is.
May I read something verbatim?
Yes, please do.
An integrative health and wellness coach forms a partnership with individuals or groups to empower and support them in achieving their personal goals related to optimal health and wellness.
Okay.
And that is a statement from the program that I attended. Integrative is it's almost like a buzzword these days. So integrative, you think of the whole person.
Yes.
When you go to the doctor, they're just focused on your sore ankle or your blood pressure or something like that. Integrative thinks about, well, wait, why did she hurt her ankle? Oh, she's going to the gym. Or our blood pressure. Maybe we're not eating the right things, or maybe we're not getting enough sleep. So integrative means looking at the whole person.
Oh, that's so good.
Body, mind, and soul, so to speak. But we, as an integrative health coach, and the way that I practice, we get a little bit deeper and separate it out a little more than that. So.
And that's, okay, it sounds really silly, but this makes me think of, you remember that old series House on TV?
Oh, love it.
And me too, but because that doesn't exist, that person doesn't exist where they actually go and look at everything and try to figure out what's wrong with someone.
Digging through his cabinets.
Yes, instead we have to go to 18,000 doctors and hope they all talk to each other. We'd love to have a house, or we can have a D. Because honestly, that's what it sounds like. Yeah. You're looking at whatever thing is going on and going, okay, so let's look at every other area here, put it together, and figure out how we can bring you to optimum health.
The fun part about it, or some people are also hesitant about this once they realize that this is what's going on, is I don't give you a bunch of advice and directions and orders. This comes from you. So an integrative health coach, we look at environment, we look at resiliency, spirituality, sleep, nutrition, movement. Most people are going to come to a health and wellness coach. I want to lose weight. I want to exercise more. I mean, it's usually the same things. Interestingly enough, people will find out that every time I go into my basement, there's so much clutter in there that it makes me sad. And then I go upstairs and sit on the couch and watch TV. So all of a sudden, it really is their environment that is the problem, not their movement, not their nutrition. Something about what's around them is keeping them from doing what they want to do.
And then the more they talk about it, the more they explore, as you guide them through that exploration, they actually see it.
Yes.
That's so good.
So it's really not me. I sometimes tell people, sometimes I feel guilty because you're doing all the work. But what we like to say, it's a process. It's a staged process. And so it's a journey. And I just think as somebody that's leading you down the road, but I'm not saying this is the way we're going to go. You could come in one day and go, I don't even care if I lose weight. This friend of mine is driving me crazy. And that's what we're going to work on.
Okay, right.
Have you had problems with this friend before? What about your friend is driving you crazy? It's whichever way the person wants to go, whichever thing is keeping you from reaching your goals. And if that thing has become so forefront, then that's what we're going to work on.
Wow, that's really good. And so every week it could be different.
Usually it's not, but sometimes that happens, especially if we've moved on and someone is actually meeting their goals. They will realize that there's something that is blocking them to get to the next level.
Very good.
The first thing that we do is we focus on what's important.
Okay.
Your values. I'm a Christian. A lot of my clients may or may not know that. The point is I'm not going to lead them to Jesus on our first appointment. They may never talk about their spirituality. One of the appointments we will ask you to rate it. And it's really, for some people, it's hard. Okay, I'd like you to rate your spirituality on a scale of 1 to 10. And your movement
I'm
and your
nutrition. I'm an angel,
nutrition.
so I'm 15.
Okay, so that's good. And then your nutrition and your movement and your resiliency. Some people are like, my sleep is horrible, but man, I love to get up and exercise. So we're going to focus on their sleep. So when something is a low rated number for them, that usually is the thing they want to focus on. But then I ask them, why? Why do you want to sleep better?
Mm.
Well, when I wake up, I'm grumpy with my kids and I'm mean to my husband, and then I don't do well at work. Okay, it sounds like sleep is pretty important, but it also sounds like your husband and your kids are important. I have to tell you, during the important session, and it's usually the first or second session, what's important to you. We also talk about your mission and your purpose. We call it a map, mission and purpose. It's a map. What is your mission and purpose in life? And there's paperwork. Sometimes there's 2 sheets. People fill them out. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't. I don't care. I'm going to ask you the questions that are on it.
Right.
And sometimes people will come in with the paperwork in their hand. Oh my God, this was so hard. Or they'll be like, it made me cry. Or I didn't want to do it because they felt something.
What's the paperwork like? I mean, what kind of stuff?
It asks you, what's important to you?
Okay.
What are your dreams? What are your goals? And some people go, I don't have any dreams.
Oh, I see. That would make me cry.
And so then it's, what have you done in the past that you've really enjoyed? And so then we start digging to find out. Sometimes we actually create a mission and a purpose right there in that first appointment.
That's really good. Do you know what I'm thinking of, Dee?
Do tell.
This sounds a lot like a health-driven, like mind, soul, and body health-driven life coach.
Yeah.
I mean, it really feels like, because, I think it was probably like in the 80s when everybody wanted a life coach. And many of y'all probably weren't alive then, so I secretly hate you anyway. But
you're much more mature.
I think it was the 80s and 90s, wasn't it, when everybody wanted life coaches? So, and what I'm hearing right now is something that's really an evolved life coach that even goes deeper.
Yes. And that's another thing about the confusion with the integrative health coach. And I am not putting down any other type of health coach, but the name health coach gets put on a lot of things.
Yes, it does.
And you can become a health coach for $99.95.
It's kind of like getting ordained to be a minister.
Yeah, that was me too. Online. That's not how this happened. The Center for Integrative Medicine at the University of Arizona, Andrew Weil, created that years ago. And I attended that. The first part of the program is all about health. And it could range anything from nutrition to essential oils to all kinds of different spirituality. I had to study and know and at least have a comprehension and an understanding of all these different religions.
Wow.
People are going to come to me, they're not going to be Christian.
Right.
And if their spirituality, whatever their center is, if that is something that is not good for them and that they want to seek, I really am just on that journey with them. I'm not going to change what they believe.
Right.
They're not going to change what I believe. My goal is to help them reach their goals.
That's really good. So now by trade, you're a minister and a nurse.
I am a registered nurse. I have been a nurse for 10 years.
Yes.
And that was one of the things was people come into the hospital sick. And a lot of times it's sickness that we can prevent by the things that we eat, by the way that we move, by the way that we just, for once, don't move. Just relax and rest. And so, body, mind, and soul. There's a lot that we can do to stay out of hospitals. And as a nurse, to send people home and they're not better. And as a person that loves to care for people and take care of people, and my history is in recovery. I mean, I was a drug addict and an alcoholic, and I'm 21 years clean and sober, and I know the benefit of someone walking along a road with you to help you get better. And I will never necessarily tell someone my story, which is really hard to sit and be quiet.
I know, I can only imagine. I don't know that I could do it, so that's why I don't do what you do. Well, there's many reasons.
And that's the second
one of them.
That was the second part of the program, was the actual coaching program that teaches us how to be a good listener, that motivationally interviews you, not by going, well, why didn't you, Deb? But Deb, what's worked in the past? Not why didn't you go to the gym this week? I've had people tell me that they want to lose weight and work out, and their first goal is to go to the gym 3 times a week. But by the way, I hate going to the gym. So what do you like to do? I like to walk with my kids. Well, let's try that 3, And I wouldn't even say, let's try that 3 times a week. Please don't go to the gym if you don't like going to the gym. Because the odds are what's going to happen in 3 weeks. You're not going to the gym.
So there's a process then, obviously, to become an integrated health coach.
Yeah, and a lot of people, you don't have to be a nurse. The program that I went through, initially, most of us are somewhere in the health field. But then after we went to the second portion of the program, we spent hours coaching each other, which is amazing because then you almost feel like, now I can help somebody else.
Yes.
Because we spend weeks and months working on a big goal. And usually that's what we do. You come in, we find out what's important to you. What is life going to look like in 6 months if you don't do this? What's it going to look like in 6 months if you do?
Right.
And then each week we work on little steps to reach that big goal. So my big goal was to be a coach. And so once I finished the coaching program, now I am a certified health coach. But I am also studying now for the national board certification.
Okay.
So like I said, the 99.95 health coach, and some professions actually use health coach as, someone that helps you at your doctor's office or something. We are not that. It's like you said, it's a little bit more than that. So
it's a lot more than that.
There's only a few schools that could be eligible to sit for that exam. So I'm honored to be able to sit for that.
Well, so now you talked a little bit a minute ago about what happens at the very beginning, but what kind of goes on during an entire session with somebody who's with, just to give our audience some idea what they can expect.
Tell me something, Deb. Pick something. What do you want to work on?
Right now we are dealing with the COVID, 5, 10, 15, that is now on my rear end. So that's what.
I've heard it called the quarantine 15.
Yes. I would come to an integrative health coach going, please help me with this. That's what I would say.
Deb, have you lost weight before?
Yes.
How did you do that?
Working out and eating right. So apparently I'm not doing either of those things. So session over, Deb, $100. I'm teasing. I know you'd be more than that. That would be my session, which is why I'm not one of you.
Actually, right now it's half price until after my test results come back.
So go away. Go to the gym, shut up, and get out.
Deb, so you want to lose 10 pounds that you feel like you've gained during the quarantine. What were some things you did before? You said, I heard you say, and it really is just reflecting back what you said. I heard you say in the past that working out and eating right has worked. Are you doing any of those things right now?
I'm trying, but it's bad habits that I picked up during COVID that I'm having to break.
Tell me about some of those bad habits.
Eating ice cream on the couch, going out, getting takeout. Obviously, so because for so long I wanted to support the local businesses.
But this is all good. It's almost hard to say, don't do that.
It's just that was my excuse to go, oh, well, McDonald's is a local business. So surely I can just go have a Big Mac. That it was, just an excuse to not eat right and to eat a lot of takeout.
Why is it important to you to lose those 10 pounds?
Because I feel better about myself. And I'm not mean, because I tend to be mean.
So you're saying when you don't feel good about yourself, you're mean to other people.
I tend to be in a badder mood, a worse mood. And apparently my grammar goes away too.
So you feel like not eating healthy makes you be kind of clogged in the mind. It makes you be mean to the people that you care about. So losing the 10 pounds would probably change that.
Yes. So basically the process of a session really is you guiding me to come to my own solutions.
I'm sorry to say, but that's the truth.
Yeah, but that's those solutions we own, isn't it?
Yes.
It's kind of like if somebody else tells you what to do, you will tend to go, well, I can't do that. But if you can guide someone to where they see it, then they own the decision before they even really get to it.
Right. And that's like the doctor saying, well, you have to buy this food, you have to eat this way, and you have to do that. And I'll never forget, a friend said to me, he goes, and the guy walked out of the doctor's office and goes, all I thought about the whole time was that my dog just died. And it's like a doctor or a professional that wants you to get better doesn't know what strengths or maybe weaknesses that you have to do that. So by doing this, it's what you've got. We're focusing on your strengths. I know that you've been successful before. I know that you love your family. I think for me, my personal thing is I want to be healthy because now I'm telling all these other people, I want you to be healthy too.
Right.
So now you are my reason for being healthy.
Oh, good. Glad I served some purpose. So what is the name of your business?
Okay, look at this. Is a little cheesy. It says Rein. R-E-I-N. Isn't that cheesy?
It is not cheesy.
I love it.
I love it.
Freedom, wholeness, and health is like my tagline, my motto for my whole life. That is my mission and purpose. And so when you feel healthy,
yes,
all of a sudden you have this freedom.
Yes, 'tis true.
But the word Rein in the Hebrew, it means, I can't. Please don't judge my Hebrew.
Yes, please don't judge me.
It's kill y'all, which means kidney.
Oh.
And the kidney is your innermost organ, and it's the most important. And a lot of times it is interpreted in the Bible in different ways as the innermost self, sometimes as the heart. Think about in Psalm 26:2, search my heart and know me. Psalm 139, you made me. You made my inward parts. That inward parts is defined as the kidney and interpreted as the kidney. And that's change comes from within.
Amen. You're
not going to change because I'm telling you how to change. You're going to change because it's coming from deep within inside you.
That's good. I love the name of your business. Honestly, that's such a cool backstory to having that name.
And it doesn't look, I don't want to appear religious. I don't want to appear that I only help men. I don't want to appear any way. Right. I just want to appear as I'm here to help you.
Absolutely. Open door. Well, so, and in this, we've had, lots of different ways people are having to meet. And there's an issue sometimes with people actually physically being able to get to an appointment or having the time. You have some options for that, yeah?
So it was before COVID. A friend of mine, we were having problems. We were not having problems. She would come back each week and she would say, I didn't meet my goal. I didn't go to the gym because I come home and I have to do this and this and this and this. And then it's time to meet with you. And then, I don't want what we are doing to help you be a hindrance. How about if we move it later? So we moved it later and then we moved it still. Then we're like, how about if we just meet on Zoom so you don't have to drive 30 minutes out of your way, meet for an hour and another 30 minutes out of your way home. So Zoom, and then the pandemic happened and then everyone started Zooming and it just seemed perfect.
It is perfect.
If you were trying to add 30 minutes into your life to go grocery shopping for groceries you've never bought before, if you're trying to add 30 minutes into your life to walk with your dog and your kids because you're certainly not going to the gym, then driving 30 minutes out of your way to see me, it also allows me to be flexible and meet wherever. So in its ugliness, it became kind of convenient for people. We want it to be convenient. I don't want this to be something that stands in the way from you reaching your goal. So the goals, we do those things, the SMART goals. What's your specific thing? How about some homework? I write people a little prescription at the end of the day, and it's like, be specific. What are you going to do to work towards losing that 10 pounds? The big goal is 10 pounds. When I see you next week, I would hope you have not lost 10 pounds. Because then I would have to do different hat. As a nurse, I would suggest that that's not very safe. Exactly. And then I would tell you, I'm taking off my nurse hat.
Yes.
So.
She's looking at Alex, who's making faces.
Don't do that. Don't do that. It's not very safe.
So, and we're just about out of time. So I want to ask you to let everybody know how it is they can get in touch with you and actually make an appointment, because this really is so important. Especially now, because I'm not alone here in my COVID issues of now coming back into society where you're no longer holed up in your house.
Right.
And people have to see you and you have some things that because it could be emotional stuff, isolation.
Yeah, especially that stuff has come up.
Yes. So if you would like to get an appointment with Dee, you don't have to live here. As a matter of fact, you might not even be living here soon. You can meet her from anywhere in the world. So how would they do that, Dee?
So my website, Rein Tucson, Rein, R-E-I-N. And just remember that, I-N.
And it's just one word, Rein Tucson?
ReinTucson.com. And then my phone number, 520-314-1976.
And all that information will be right underneath this. And if you have any questions for Dee, obviously you can comment under here as well. We'll have her, look at that and make sure she can respond to you. But I really, really highly encourage y'all. This is a woman who I met Dee because she cares about people. Literally the day I met you, the first time we went out to lunch, do you remember what happened? We went out to lunch and I barely know this woman, and we're driving along in her truck and all of a sudden she pulls over to the side of the road and there's the next thing I know, there's a homeless woman in the car with us. That's how I met this woman. And then she introduced me to helping other women as well. I'm in ministry to women because Dee introduced me to that. So this is a woman who actually cares about you. And that's who you need, helping you integratively with your health. So God bless you.
He already has.
Yes, he has. We love you guys very much. Make sure you comment underneath if you have anything, questions for Dee. Make sure we have the website under there, her phone number. You'll be able to get in touch with her. Well, God bless you. We pray you'll get in touch with her as well, because this will be a great investment into your future. Talk to you next time. Thank you for joining me today on this episode of Real Life with Deb Waterbury. I hope it's been a blessing to you as much as it was to me. You know, if you want any of my books or information on articles or any of my speaking engagements, you can go to my website at debwaterbury.com. God bless you.